Yeah, what up, what up? You're now tuned into the Stitch Sham Show. I am one half of the team, Sham Phoenix.
And I am the other, Stitch Early.
And we are back for episode 46.
Yes.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about. The world was just feeding us information.
Facts. It's like,
this week.
Here's the episode.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Here you go.
You know what I mean?
And it's crazy because me and Stitch, we just talked throughout the week and just be like, oh man, did you hear this? Did you hear this? Is this something that we could, kind of relate to our lives or, relate to something that we been going through?
Yeah.
But as of last Sunday, you guys know that me and Stitch are avid basketball fans.
For sure.
We just came over to Stitch crib, brought the whole family over.
Yep.
We was just chilling, eating pizza and wings.
Air
You know what I'm
fryer,
saying?
yo.
Out the
Hey,
air
if you
fryer.
if you haven't got an air fryer,
Bruh.
I don't know what you're doing.
You out here
Like
missing
in
out on
2021,
life.
if you don't got an air fryer, I don't know what you're doing.
We got some fries yesterday. Like them heavy potato wedge fries.
Okay, yeah.
And like fries you can't like really reheat.
Yeah, nah.
But if you throw them in the air fryer,
yes.
reheat them in the air fryer.
I did it with some Five Guys joints.
Oh.
And I threw them joints back in the air fryer.
Oh,
Put
man.
that joint on. I was like, oh, these joints taste like they just came out the peanut oil.
I'm trying to tell you, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was like, so now we can revitalize fries?
Son, yes.
That's changing the game.
Yo, that's why I said the air fryer. Yeah, greatest invention.
Yes.
No,
definitely changing the game. And then while we're talking about changing the game, the All-Star game format was changed this year due to COVID restrictions. They had it in Atlanta. What they did was they just had it one night, all the events in one night. I happened to really dig that.
Yeah, like I definitely enjoyed it because it wasn't one of those things like normally. I think the night before, I think they did the celebrity game.
Yeah, it was like kind of like the rock and jock type of thing.
And that joint was only funny just because Lil Baby,
they were like, he's hard.
hey, Lil Baby just needs to rap.
He was like,
so did you see
I seen the free throw.
So the free throw, but then the game. So it was almost like the only thing I can compare it to is in Space Jam when the Monstars took the basketball players' powers and they was throwing the ball to Sean Bradley and them, and they ain't. That's how Lil Baby looked out that joint. Like somebody stole his powers. You know what I mean? But yes, I did like the fact that on Sunday them condensing it to what? It was like a 5 hour program where you got
the skills challenge, then it was
3-point contest, and then the game and the dunk contest
was at
halftime.
Yeah.
Because for one, I think majority of the time it's just drawn out just for the sake of it being drawn out.
Yeah.
And like a 3-point contest don't need to be that drawn out. Like go out here, shoot these threes and keep it moving.
It definitely seems like a money grab. When you look at how they did it this year opposed to previous years, they're extending it for money reasons.
Facts. Post-COVID.
Yeah.
It'll go back to that because it's like, because people can be there. Yeah. It's like, oh, we have people in the arena. We got things we can sell. We have little, you know what I mean? Parts of the event that people are buying tickets to come and be a part of. So I get it. But for a viewer who wasn't planning on going to the All-Star game and just sitting and watching it,
that's perfect.
That was perfect. We ain't have to pick out 3 nights to come chill. It was just like, yo, this one night. Let's chill and watch this.
There was only like one unnecessary thing that happened, and that was when Dwayne Wade came out and Anthony Hamilton started singing after the third quarter.
That was because I remember you said that. You was like
after the third quarter,
why they ain't have him sing at half court? I mean at halftime,
and then had the dunk competition,
and then have
It just because the dunk competition went fast.
It was super quick, but I think also. So I seen a lot of people saying that because like weeks ago I posted this dunk contest from like it was
it was like
1977 or something like that.
It was whack.
And it was the worst dunk contest that I've ever seen in my life. So even watching this dunk contest, I was like, nah, they did better than 1970
it was definitely, but it was still whack.
It just was not. It didn't live up to. And it was only because of what we got the previous 2 years. Yeah, the previous 2 years with Zach LaVine and
Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, like it was entertaining. It came down to the wire type of dunks. Yeah. This one was very much like as you were watching, it was like, all right, it's cool. Like, and my favorite dunk was from the person I think that was probably least likely in people's list to make it was that Obi Toppin joint when he did the bounce between the leg joint. I was like, hold up, run that back.
Because after that, he just sizzled out.
Yeah, it just became regular.
Yeah.
And then the one dunk that what's his name? Your man,
Cassius Stanley.
Cassius Stanley.
Yeah.
The dunk that he could have made that he wanted to do. He does it all the time.
Yeah.
Like I watched videos of him.
The lights.
It might have been the lights.
Because you also have to realize that in this All-Star game for this dunk competition, it was in the middle of the All-Star game. Right?
Yeah.
So now you're being rushed. All the attention is on you.
And it's like you didn't have the time of like, the fans are cheering.
Yeah,
so that gives me a moment to chill. Yeah,
it's
facts.
We're in an empty stadium. You gotta make it happen like right
now.
And even though I wasn't particularly happy with the dunk, the 3-point contest was mad entertaining.
Yeah, 3-point contest was entertaining.
And Stephen Curry's the finals for them was it was super dope.
The skills competition it's the skills competition. It is what it is.
It's not
the game. Once it got to the second half, the first half was just like a free for all.
Yeah.
And I think once it got to the second half, it was a little bit more. I don't know, like it wasn't last year's.
No.
Last year's was like
intense.
because it was close.
Yeah.
By the time we got to the fourth quarter, like LeBron's squad
was bodying them.
LeBron should be a GM. Because when it come to these joints, LeBron picked the team. I think LeBron strategically said, I know I'm only playing 10 to 15 minutes in this game, so I'm going to pick a team that could win without me.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick a team that could win. And Steph and Dame to where Paul George...
Yeah, he changed his... He was like, listen, that's a good shot for him.
It's a good shot.
It's not
he was like, I was wilding. Y'all killed me. I was wilding.
He can shoot that shot.
He can shoot that and make it effectively.
All the time. Effectively. Like, no problem.
Yeah, so...
It was good. I enjoyed that format. I felt like... to quickly get it over with and get into the second half of the season, because I know these players are tired.
Facts.
They didn't want to be there in the first place.
A lot of them
didn't want to be there in the first place.
And then you had people, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you go get fresh.
Yeah.
And you run into situations.
Yeah.
So Philadelphia. Ben Simmons
yes.
and Joel Embiid went to go get haircuts.
Yeah.
And their barber tested positive for COVID. So they couldn't play.
And Joel just came back, but he got hurt.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah. So they couldn't play. And then, of course, the big name that couldn't play was KD, the captain.
Yeah.
He couldn't play because, and I'm pretty sure Brooklyn was like, hey, pump the brakes.
Yeah.
You know, we're not even going to put you out there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But outside of that, the two highlights kind of came from Steph and Dame.
Yep.
Because they were just like shooting the ball.
The back-to-back half-court joints.
Just crazy.
Yeah.
But Giannis had it. He was the MVP of the game.
Giannis ain't miss a shot.
Giannis didn't miss a shot. He went 16 for 16.
The backboard was loving Giannis because Giannis was throwing joints up, and he was like,
just like, hey, it is what it is. What it is. So it was super entertaining.
Yeah.
Even though there was kind of like a blowout.
Yeah. Because by the time it got to the fourth quarter, and it was like, yo, y'all have to catch up.
Yeah.
And they was doing a good job, but then Steph and them was just like, nah it's too much firepower.
Dame, them last two shots was like, it's over.
Yeah, it's too much firepower.
It was too much.
I think it would have been a more, and I think you probably would have even seen LeBron play more had KD played.
Yeah.
But I think as soon as LeBron knew like KD's not playing,
like, I'm gonna
pick a team that could compete against that. Yeah. So I think
I understood. I wasn't even, because some people were offended by it.
I wasn't.
I was like, this man is 36 years old.
He had a two-month break.
Gazillion miles on his body. Like,
facts. I wasn't offended by that.
He came out, he played, he tried, he gave the crowd a little dunks and a couple things, but
I know what I was offended by.
Oh,
the Brooklyn Nets getting Blake
Griffin.
Man.
I think Blake Griffin finessed the Pistons.
Oh, facts.
I think he played injured, showed up, was like, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna do just enough.
I'm a James Harden that joint.
Yeah, because he had what? I think by mid-season, he was averaging about 12 points.
Yeah.
Maybe around like 7 rebounds.
And I don't know when the last time. Yeah, something like it was something like that.
Like that's just good enough for a team to want you to be on the team.
But then bad enough for them to go, maybe we could get somebody better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in a case similar to what James Harden was doing, like James Harden was still going out there and playing, but James Harden showing up late.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it
difficult for y'all, and y'all gonna have to make the move that I want y'all to make anyway.
Yeah,
and I think that's what happened.
Because even when they interviewed him, Blake Griffin was like, "No, I'm good, I'm straight."
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, I bet you are. I bet you on the Nets."
Yeah, to go play with KD, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving, I'll be straight too.
And y'all, people be leaving out
DeAndre Jordan, who you played with before.
People be leaving that out, man.
Who you played with before.
People be leaving that out.
So I just want to see what they going. I mean, like once I saw that James and Kyrie, because I never had doubts about KD. Yeah. Because I feel KD is the type of player that you can kind of put anywhere.
Yeah.
He's gonna be able to fit in any system. Whereas with James Harden and Kyrie, I was like, I don't know how that's gonna work. And
once Kyrie moved to the 2 and just let James handle the ball, I felt like, okay.
Yeah, then it started working. So I'm like, yo, bringing in Blake Griffin, I think he's just gonna fit in.
Oh man, if you play him at the 4,
he's gonna just smoothly fit in.
He's a great stretch forward. Yeah. He can shoot. And he's a great playmaker.
Yeah.
So he doesn't always have to have the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Like, and he doesn't have to have the ball in his hand.
He doesn't have to have the ball in his hand.
I wonder. The thing I wonder is, can he still dunk?
Well, he hasn't dunked. He hasn't dunked this whole season.
I think they said since like it's been like 100 and something games or something like that since he's actually dunked in a game.
But this season has been
like none. Yeah. So we'll see what that looks like and if they're able to like heat up. You know what I'm saying?
I think they'll be. This is the only thing. DeAndre Jordan, not really great in the playoffs.
Nah.
Blake Griffin, not really great in the playoffs. Nah. James Harden, kind of okay in the playoffs.
James Harden fizzles.
Kyrie ain't really been. I mean, has he even been to the playoffs since LeBron? The Celtics went, but
he wasn't. He was injured. Yeah, he didn't play. Yeah,
so he ain't been in the playoffs.
Nah, so he hasn't because the Nets they didn't. No, because he didn't play last year either. Yeah, so he ain't been in the playoffs since Cleveland.
So
KD is the only one that you can honestly say has some playoffs experience.
And the thing about the postseason is that differs from the regular season is now teams get to hone in.
Yeah.
Right? I get to sit, watch film. I'm looking at your offense, your defense specifically
to see how we gonna play.
To see how we can neutralize it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like if it comes down to playing chess with LeBron James in the playoffs, I don't know how well the Nets will fare.
And the crazy thing is, like, I think people are still even just counting out the Eastern Conference teams too.
They get the Celtics
because the Celtics are picking up, and before everything happened with Joel, like now,
it could be.
It may be different because if he's badly injured, that's going to be a problem for them. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to definitely you'll see, and then even as far as what moves. Because I think they were talking about Andre Drummond
and Hassan
Whiteside as far as for the Lakers and stuff. So I think all of those things is one of those seasons like we got to wait till after everything and see how it plays where it's out. Going to go.
Because also in the next coming weeks you're going to have a bunch of buyouts. So players that are good, you know what I'm saying, like a little old on the older side. But still can, give to a franchise, might be released.
They're going to think to like, we might be able to bring him in.
And I think that's what they're kind of trying to do because Cleveland is trying to get trade options. But I think what they're holding out for is if we don't get any trade options, then we cash out on Andre Drummond. Yeah. And then Andre Drummond will probably take a $1 million, $2 million contract.
And that was the other person, Lamarcus Aldridge.
Yes.
Because Lamarcus Aldridge and the Spurs decided to part ways. That was kind of because I was like, I knew it was another big man. Yeah.
Pop came out, Greg Popovich came out and basically said, we want to try to put him in a great situation if we trade for him. But if not, we'll just, we'll buy them out. Now, this is the thing, those type of contracts that those players will take, because once I'm getting a cash out from a team, so that's like 20, some of these guys got 15 million still on their contract.
It's like,
so to take another $1 or $2 million deal doesn't hurt them.
It don't, because I'm still gonna get I'm gonna still get my bread. Yeah.
So that's where things can get crazy because like say they target Lamarcus Aldridge, Hassan Whiteside and Andre Drummond.
And I know Dame even said that he was cool with Lamar. Like I've said this on an episode before, like I felt Lamarcus Aldridge should have never left Portland.
I think what happened what happened with Shaq and Penny.
Yep.
Dame came in and started turning the league upside down, right? And I think it was hard because the NBA was pushing the big man out. And Lamarcus Aldridge was trying to get a payday.
And they was like, hey, we got this young kid over here.
We got to pay him too. I don't know if we're going to be able to pay you too. Yeah. So I think that's kind of like what happened because that's exactly what happened with Shaq and Penny.
Yeah.
It's like Man, Penny comes in,
and then
he's
Shaq
killing
like,
it.
hold
Shaq's
up.
like, well, y'all gonna pay him before y'all pay me? And they like, I mean, Shaq, you great, but Penny is on fire right now.
Because back then it was a lot about the point guard, So I know that the one thing we won't see this year is we won't see a Lakers Heat final. No. I know we don't got to worry about seeing a Lakers Heat final.
The Heat are playing okay though, aren't they?
Yeah, they're playing okay, but they have some players that aren't there. They got some players that's just at home playing Twitch. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? They got it's a lot going on with them.
Yeah, well, this is why this story is so crazy.
Yeah.
Is because it was totally preventable.
Facts.
Myers Leonard, as you know, he was fined $50,000 by the NBA for racial slurs while online.
And has to stay away from the team for a week.
Yeah. He's suspended from team activities.
Yeah, for a week.
But he made a racial slur while online playing video games. I think Call of Duty is.
He was playing. So it was a fighting game.
Yeah.
I just know when I saw the video, it was a fighting game.
Yeah.
And he made a racial slur towards Jewish people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he came out. Sometimes people would get away with their apologies.
Yeah.
If they shortened them.
Yes.
So his apology was, I'm sorry, like, to the community and everything like that. But I didn't even know what the word meant. Like, I didn't know that was a.
All right.
And it's like,
okay, you shouldn't even.
So if I don't know it, why would I even say that in the way that I said that?
Yeah.
And it was only like, sometimes you look at things and you go, man, the way I remember working at one facility that I worked at, we had a kid there, this little white kid. And when he got mad, he would curse people out and stuff like that. So he would say the N-word. Yeah. But he didn't know what it meant. So he, in his head, he just knew it was negative. Yeah. He knew if I say this, it's negative. And just like the B word, the F word, MF, he knew I'm gonna get a negative reaction. Yeah. So most of the time we know that the N word is a derogatory word that is used towards black people. Yeah. So most individuals know that. He didn't know this white kid, if it was a white staff, if it was a Spanish staff, he knew it would get you mad. So he's just like, it's derogatory, and he would just call whatever staff was pissing him off at the moment. Hilarious. He would just call them the N-word. Yeah. And like everybody would be looking like, that's not the context. That's not the context. And so he really didn't even know the context in which he was using it. Yeah. He just knew it was negative. Yeah. For Myles Leonard, you're a grown man.
You was 6'11" too.
you were 6'11" grown man.
And you went to college?
And you're using, so you had to know it was derogatory. Even if he was to come out and say, I didn't know it was derogatory towards the Jewish community. Yeah. But you knew it was a derogatory term.
Yeah, I can't buy it.
I was like, I can't buy that you just didn't know it was derogatory. Yeah. Like, yeah.
So, now the NBA, I mean, they did what the NBA or any establishment would do. Yeah. But even for stuff like that, like, I understand, like, I'm going to slap on the wrist. Like, slap on the wrist, like, don't do it. Mm-hmm. But even if he says it again and just doesn't get caught, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, is he really?
Now he's just gonna be like, I gotta make sure these cameras ain't.
Yeah, I mean, make sure. I'm saying, like,
next time I'll say.
It's just I don't know, man. It's just with the way the world is going, especially with the anniversary of George Floyd. Coming on its way. It's just crazy that we're still here. Yeah. Right. Like you could do all the diversity training, you could do all the equity training, all of those things. You could sit people down in conference rooms and explain all of these things, but people are still going to be people. Their hearts are still going to sometimes show forth in their actions and in the words that they say.
And a lot of times you see it when they're relaxed.
Oh man.
If you go back to, remember the Eagles, what was the player that played for the Eagles?
Oh man, what is his name?
And I just know he was at a concert. Yeah. And he blurted out the racial slur.
That name
I don't even remember his name. But I
know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So it's just like some things you find out like when it's.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those things. I think
he was intoxicated too.
Who
the wide receiver.
Wide receiver
from the Eagles. I think he
was. He was at some. But I'm saying, but even in those relaxed situations is where you go, Oh, is that how you really? That's how you really feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was even like the other story that you had brought to my attention.
Oh yeah,
the girls
kneeling,
basketball team.
I want to say Norman High School, something like that. The girls basketball team, which is predominantly black, was playing a more predominantly white high school, and in solidarity with Black Lives Matter and things like that, they were kneeling during the national anthem, and the announcers who basically signaled to all the people who were watching this, I think it was like a public television channel, that they were going to the national anthem, forgot that their mics were hot and started calling these young ladies the N-word.
And they're just sitting back, so you just hear them, and they're kind of like, oh, what are they doing? Are they
kneeling?
Oh, like you hear this like off mic a little bit, and then you hear them say effing ends.
It was like, wow.
Oh, snap.
This is crazy.
Like, yo, this is... Yeah. And I remember I had to pull it back because I was like... Because it's muffled.
It's muffled.
And I had to pull it back because I was like, he ain't just say that.
And then I watched a video where somebody subtitled it at the bottom.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo.
Man.
Like, why are y'all still offended by that? Like, have we not shown you what this thing is? And then the fact that you're even saying something like that is the reason that they're doing it.
Facts.
So why are you?
Because just as much as a person has the right to stand, the person has the right to kneel. That's the thing that's fought for in America, the right to protest.
Yeah. And I don't want to hear nothing about no cops or troops, because y'all have proved to us that y'all don't care about them neither.
Fact. 1,000%.
So don't bring that up. I don't want to hear that.
We saw that in January.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that at all. Cool.
The cops don't really matter to y'all either. So
they don't matter. If the only thing that matters is you guys having what you think
you deserve, quote unquote,
deserve, or your way per se. And that's why I say it's just like super disheartening to like go through all those things, go through the summer that we had, right? And to still hear these things and be like, man, y'all don't even have the common courtesy to make sure
it just shows
stuff is together.
It shows
before you be racist.
Yeah, it shows the stupidity. Like I said, we all have our inner circles and things of that nature, and things that we may talk about behind closed doors, not even so much in a racist sense or a derogatory sense, but just stuff that we may talk about behind closed doors that we don't necessarily speak about in public.
Yes. But
the thing is, I'm smart enough to go, oh, it's cameras. Yeah, probably not right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's even last year when we talked about Six Man. For the Clippers, and Drake got a song.
Lou Williams. Yes.
Yeah, Lou Will.
This is how you can tell we getting old.
It's just smart stuff like, okay, it's COVID. I'm going home. Should I go get wings? Should I just have wings? Should I have Wingstop deliver me some wings? Or should I go to the strip club and get the wings? I'm going to go to the strip club and get the wings. And then pictures come out, and I'm going to take some pictures with strippers and some rappers.
Yeah.
And act as if no one's going to post it.
Yeah.
It's just, my thing is, if you're going to do something stupid smart.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm down for that. I'm down for smart stupid. Because this is the thing,
There is such a thing as smart stupid.
As human beings, right? As human beings, as flawed individuals, we are going to do some crazy stuff.
Facts.
Right?
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. It's going to happen. Whether it happens 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're going to do something
at some point
that you can look back and be like, man, I was dumb. I shouldn't have done that. But there's smart ways of doing things.
Yes. And my thing is just, at the end of the day, you know what's going to happen. An apology is going to happen. Most of the time, anytime a person gets caught, like, an apology is going to happen. We're sorry. We didn't really mean to call them effing ends.
Do you think they can get out of that? I don't think they can get out of this one, though.
I don't think that they can get out of this one.
It was too deliberate.
Yeah, it was too deliberate.
Like Miles Leonard, because it's a word that's not commonly used, could get out of that.
Yes, I agree. Miles Leonard could easily be like, yo, I'm out.
Because it's not a common word. I've never personally heard it.
I've heard it in the sense of towards Jewish people, but in that situation, it might be different for Miles Leonard if the person that he was talking to, like if the person he was playing against was a Jewish individual.
Yes.
So I could see it then be like, yo, you're talking to someone and you're using that derogatory. So for the two announcers, you're looking at a girls team that is African American, and you're calling them the derogatory term that you know is used for them.
That. Yeah, and that's
you know what I'm saying.
Miles Leonard could probably sway these announcers. I don't think we'll be able to.
The one person that I commend is Julian Edelman.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that Julian Edelman. It may be of Jewish descent or something like that, and he was like, "Yo, maybe you're uneducated," and he was like, the person who is just racist, the person that's uneducated and racist is worse. Is what he was saying. Is because you just out here spewing whatever, and you don't even know. He was like, "Yo, if you want, you could come through the crib. You know what I'm saying?
I'll break it down for you.
I'll break it down for you. You could come to one of our little gatherings and see how we maneuver and how we do things." And I was like, that's a mature way to educate, because I think you could easily get mad at someone and tear them down just like you were tore down, or you can educate them, and then upon them making the next mistake, then you have a reason to be like, "Oh, I educated you, and you still moving how you move."
Yeah, and I think that's like super dope. But it's still, again, like, we know it's kind of a little bit far fetched at this point to just be able to
just say, "I don't know." I didn't know I couldn't. I had no idea. I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Yeah. And like, while we're just like on this topic of just kind of like how the world is dealing with racism, when you have like a high profile couple like Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, and they sit down with they had a sit down with Oprah, and they were just kind of talking about their experiences of kind of exiling themselves from the royal family,
and really, when you look at it, at the end of it, being exiled,
basically, because it's kind of like, we don't got no. It feels like that. I don't know if it's coming from like Harry's family directly, but the constituents and people who help run the. That's
what I was gonna say. I think it's the surrounding. Because from what he was saying, he was like, "Nah, I still talk to my grandmother like
all the time."
You know what I'm saying? I was just talking to her. Yeah. But it definitely seemed as if, I know they were saying, like, I guess there are, when you marry in or whatever, there's levels of work, I guess, that you have to put in. And they were just like, we just don't want to be this tier. We want to be down in this tier. Yeah. Like the dukes and duchess and stuff like that. We don't really want to have to do all the extras, but still be a part. And I think that was the thing of, they didn't want us to do that. Yeah. And then he said when they moved, they cut the security detail,
They initially only cut it for Meghan and Archie.
Yeah. And they was like, "Yo, we got you.
We'll protect Harry."
And then she said that she went to them and was like, "Yo, y'all could cut it for us, but at least leave it with him." And then they ended up cutting that
for him. Yeah, it was. Yeah, and it's just, and then the highlight of this conversation was when Meghan Markle basically insinuated that someone, she didn't say any names, she didn't say,
and he wouldn't say either.
Yeah, they kept it PG for the most part. Like, they unveiled what they felt was appalling, but didn't implicate anybody.
Yeah, they was like, we don't want to necessarily, like, we're not going to put the family business out there as much as we already had. Yeah.
So they basically say that someone asked what color the baby Archie's skin would be, because in their mind, it came off as like, we don't want an heir to the throne to be darker complected,
which is like this,
and it's just, and you just think to yourself, you're like, "Yo, what in the world is going on in people's mind?"
And it's so, like, I looked at it two ways. I looked at it, there was the one side of me that goes like, almost like with Donald Trump, when he would do stuff, I would go like, "What did you expect?" Yeah. Like, what else? What did I expect anything else? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And even from hearing him talk, he was like, "Nah, I know, what I was raised around and things like that." But some of it, like how I say, there's some white people who, because of your circumstance, you're not necessarily, it's almost like you have blinders on and you don't see anything outside of that. Yeah. And he was saying, like, from when they got together, that kind of was the thing that kind of took the veil off a little bit and was like, "Oh, I never really noticed that. I didn't really notice that." And now that I'm seeing it, I'm like, "Oh, hold up. This is how I grew up. These are the things that I was around." Yeah. You know what I mean? And Archie ain't.
He's not. First of all, Meghan's not fully black.
Exactly.
So what
and then she's with someone who's not fully black. So,
what did you think Archie was going to
or
look
not
like?
even fully black, not
And
black.
I'm not saying that it's
Like,
not possible that Archie would come out looking like me,
but I would be
just
surprised.
It would be like, oh wow.
We would have. I'm
I
sure.
would have
I'm sure
questions.
Harry would be like,
At this point, I have
hold
questions.
up, was you just with me?
If Archie come out looking like me, we need to pull Meghan
Yeah,
Markle.
we might have to,
have
they
a
over in London. We might have to hit Idris
Yeah,
up.
you know what I'm saying?
We
We
like,
might have
yo,
to talk.
this
Like,
might be Idris's baby.
Meghan, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you're trying to pull here.
Exactly.
But Archie's daddy is Jerome.
Facts. Like,
Some-
yeah,
some
but it
ain't-
definitely ain't,
some ain't right.
it ain't Prince
It
nothing.
ain't Harry.
It might be Prince.
Right? Yeah, it's just so crazy because like
Yeah.
you think that, you know, on a common level for people like, you know, working class people like, you know, me and you, just everyday people, that we deal with it on levels. And then you would think that you like to think, even though the world has shown us otherwise, that like as you go up a little bit more, like people would have a little bit more tact, but it feels like it just gets worse.
I think what ends up happening is it's actually more ignorance.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because a lot of times when I think of it like a person who is illiterate, right, who can't read, and stop. I was like, I don't even want to use this example, but you're an idiot.
We're not laughing at people.
We're not I want to be clear.
We're not laughing at people that can't read.
When we were teenagers,
it was a
we had a situation. So anytime I hear
about it,
illiterate, I go to that situation.
It was a joke that happened. We were kids.
Yeah.
And it still makes me giggle today.
Facts. And that's why when
I'm
I said
not laughing at people that cannot
that's why I was
read.
like, I'm not going to look at
All
you
right.
because I know.
I'm good, man.
So for a person that, you know, is illiterate or can't read, there are certain things that they can pick up on. There are certain things that they pick up on. So
like common
I remember,
phrases and
you
things
remember
like
when Lyric was very young,
yes.
her dad could tell her, go get this tape, and it could not have the cover on it or anything, but it just had the words.
Yeah.
And because she had seen it so often, she knew, I don't know what this word is.
But this is what you're talking about.
But this is what you're talking about because I can understand, even with Michaela.
Yeah.
Michaela is still learning to read and things. But if I write her name and a bunch of words down on a piece of paper, she can pick out her name. Yeah. Because she has word association with what it looks like. Yeah. So I often think that people who are like that, they have made it so long by just word association. Yeah. Oh no, I don't really know how to read. But I know how to associate the words.
Or colors
and
or
then,
shapes.
And then they end up having to read in front of everybody. And everybody
like,
goes,
man.
Oh, snap.
I didn't know.
I ain't know.
Because you've been able to just get by on the
That's a
alone.
Chesapeake and not cheesecake.
Yeah, that's my wife did that one time. That was hilarious. But you know, it's so it's those things and then there was this again a lot of the comments about Prince Harry talking about his mother and how people were offended and I guess trying to accuse him of trying to basically profit off his mother's death. And I was like, where are we at? Like, where are we at in America when you're saying that someone who's talking about his mother, and maybe that's the way he comforts himself.
Well, and he said that the situation,
able to talk about
he said that he felt that the situation was a lot like that situation.
Yes.
Because of who he married, she was very different from everybody else. His mom was very different from
she was extremely
you know what I mean? Did a lot of stuff that wasn't necessarily you would think of as royal or whatever. Yeah. So he looked at the situation as it was similar to what his mom went through. Yeah. So he's gonna compare it as we all do. Yeah. We compare situations based on what we go through.
As he should.
You know? Yeah.
As he should.
Facts.
And it's just, it's just crazy that we've, kind of folded into this world where we're not allowing people to talk about things that are personal to them without accusing them of trying to be some type of
like he's trying to
money grab or something. Like he's trying to be a money grab
off of his mom.
He's a prince
when he hasn't said anything about it in who knows how many years. Like,
but he frequently talks about it.
And Harry has always been the one that seemed like the outcast. Harry was always out this joint doing his thing.
He be in Jamaica.
He's just chilling. Like Harry was.
Because this is the other thing. People don't know this, and maybe it has not been publicized. But Rihanna and Prince Harry were dating.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I'm pretty sure that Harry changed his mind.
Now that would have been. Hey,
changed his mind about Rihanna.
Now if Rihanna would have been up in that show, it would have been. He would have had the queen doing work.
Oh snap! Go ahead, Charles.
Hey, that joint would have been different.
Yeah.
Hey, that ain't no Megan. That's
maybe
different.
a lot of that because a lot of people said that they were. I don't know how serious they were, but a lot of people said they were serious. And maybe that's the reason why he was like, I can't take.
Shoot, had the queen. The queen would have been in Fenty.
Can't take Rihanna.
The queen would have been in Fenty Beauty.
I can't take her back to the kingdom.
Nah, and it's so what it also brings up is with the whole situation is everything with Piers Morgan.
Oh yeah,
and
that guy's wild. It's like just let it go, bro.
I've heard of a woman scorned, but Piers Morgan is a man scorned. He went from what's been said, he went on a date with Megan, and she left their date and went to a party where she met Prince Harry,
and just never contacted
Piers again. And Piers still seemed like he hurt.
He assaulted.
Piers needs a hug. Piers was so hurt that he quit his job being asked about this stuff.
He was like, I'm done.
And then just started, a ripple effect of just the things that we were talking about, like everything with Sharon Osbourne on is it The Talk?
I think it is
she's
Talk.
on? I think it's The Talk. Her and
Cheryl Underwood.
Cheryl Underwood.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Just
conversations
where
our world is
exactly
on the basis of racism
and just how
bigotry.
people still don't understand.
Like,
and it's not even saying that you have to agree.
No,
but you have to be able to go, okay, I can understand that. I can see where you're coming from. I can understand. You don't have to agree at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So I think those are the conversations and the things that have been taking place, like you said, over the last year,
last couple weeks,
all the way to this morning.
Oh yeah, this morning when
I turn on my phone and all of a sudden I see everybody is tweeting and stuff about Kirk Franklin. And I'm like, yo, what my man Kirk did? Kirk was just on a tiny desk chilling, like, you know what I'm saying? Singing the praises of the Lord.
Now, there are some people who are like totally offended by what happened with Kirk Franklin. So apparently Kirk has a son that he had before getting married. And I think he's about 33 years old.
Malachi,
and they've been having conflicts for years, right? And Curtis said he's tried to weave him into the fabric of his new life.
Therapy, things like that.
They've been going through some things and just trying to get this thing on track, but it just kind of has come to a head. He felt disrespected. Yeah. And supposedly, well, not even supposedly, the son records the conversation of him and his father, and Kurt is cursing his son out and basically saying, you have disrespected me for the last time, and I'm getting ready to put a foot in your tail.
Like, went in.
He went in.
I'll break your neck. He went in.
When I first heard it, I didn't listen to it and go, I'm listening to Kirk Franklin, the gospel singer. Yeah, I literally, the minute the video came on, I thought from a parent perspective.
Yeah, me too.
I have been there.
Yep, 1,000%.
I have said something 96 times.
Yep.
And then on the 96th time, I combust.
Yeah. Like, you have got me to the point.
I am
because he sounded like, from the outside looking in, Kirk Franklin seems like somebody that is pretty chill.
I'm chilling. I'm cool.
Like, pretty chill. He sounded like, you have taken me to the brink.
And this is it.
And broke the brink. And here, is this what you want? Like, that's all I heard was Chris Tucker. Is this what you want?
Yeah.
Like, and
I'm giving it to you.
And I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you all the way.
Yeah.
So I didn't, and then I saw people like, how, I see people on here saying that he didn't do anything wrong, and this is no way to talk to someone. You're supposed to be and I'm like, none of that has nothing to do with this.
It's already even rushed out the window.
And I was like, Kirk Franklin don't owe nobody an apology. Nobody.
Nothing.
Nobody. You
the
don't
fact
even
that
own.
He did was courteous.
Yeah, the fact that he even came on and said, "Hey, my bad." You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with that, but he owes no one an apology because we are all human beings.
Yep.
And we have all been pushed to the point to where we done did something that we look back and was
especially
like,
by my kids.
Yeah, like, dang, I didn't. Maybe I took it too far.
Yes, especially by my
maybe kids. I didn't. Maybe you took me too far.
Yes.
And you don't want me to get back to this point again.
And I don't got time.
But we've all heard it. I remember growing up, I done heard, I will cave your chest in. Oh, Kirk Franklin saying he would break his son's neck. I was like,
smack the black off.
Smack the black. I'm a smack the black off.
Or knock you in the next week.
Knock you in the next week. I brought you in this world. I'll take you out.
I've heard all those things.
Yeah, my dad said that he would break my face. And I was like the whole not my nose, like my face. The whole joint. Like, You know what I'm saying? These are things he used to say to me and my brother before he would go TDY and stuff.
Yeah.
Your mom was here before y'all, and she gonna be here after y'all.
Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Like I'll take y'all can get taken out of here.
Yeah, it's real, bro.
And I used to be like,
man,
all right, so I might as well make sure I do everything I need to do.
My mom has said some things.
Facts. So when I heard it, it was just like my first reaction was, "What did you do to your dad?"
That's what I thought. I was like,
"What did you do to your dad?"
And then when he cursed at him, I was like, he probably been cursing at Kirk, and that's what pushed.
And even Kirk said that they called a therapist together. Yeah. He was like, but he didn't record. He didn't put that part of the recording.
Supposedly, the son put up on Instagram. I think it was Instagram. He was like, I would share the rest of the video with y'all, but it's too disheartening or whatnot. I was like, no, the reason that you didn't share the rest of that video is because
dad
you
showing that he cared.
Yep, is his dad showing that he cared, and Kirk probably apologized to him while he was on that phone.
Yep.
And he was like, we can't show that part.
We just.
But I think it's funny because all of the backlash that I've seen has really been pointed towards the son. Like people feel like, yo, that's foul, it's disrespectful. Yep. You shouldn't have aired your dad out like that. I don't care what he was doing. He's evidently been supporting this young man. The boy's 33. He's not even a boy. He's a man. Saying.
At first,
33 years old.
Before I heard Kirk say the age, I'm like, oh, he probably like 15.
Man, no, that man 18. Is 33 years old.
You was a grown man.
And you should have got cussed out.
Facts.
Simple as that.
You lucky you just got cursed
out. Exactly, because I can see you.
Because your dad could come see you. Like, easy. You an adult.
And I know people are going to be like, oh, that's not. No, forget it. I don't want to hear that.
Because all I know is, like I said, I got a 15-year-old that's 6'2", 240 pounds.
Yeah. I'm not talking to you like no baby.
Nah. You eat like a man, you get talked to like a man.
And if you step out of line, you may get cussed out.
Yeah, and you'll get put right back in line.
Yeah, that's the way it's going to work. Now, we may not cuss on this show because we try to have a family show. But don't get it twisted.
Don't have me. Right? That's gonna be the new joke. Yeah, don't make me curse you.
Don't make me curse at you. There's gonna be people in this.
Don't make me curse you.
Like, you gonna curse at me? No, I'm not gonna curse at you.
Don't make me Kirk you.
But don't think that I ain't never cursed at my kids because I have.
You can get Kirk Franklin real quick.
I've also thrown empty water bottle jugs. You know them plastic jugs, milk jugs, the gallon jugs. Yo. If I tell you to take out the recycle and just sit there for 3 days, and I keep saying,
like, hey, maybe you need a physical reminder.
Maybe I should throw it at you, just so you know.
So you can. Oh, this is the recycle.
This was supposed to go outside.
Yeah, let me take that.
Yep. Nobody was hurt in the filming of this show. I'm just saying. I can understand where Kirk's coming from.
I get it, 1,000%.
I have been so frustrated to the point I was like, you know what?
Yo, Kirk was frustrated.
He was super frustrated.
Like, I'm playing it back in my head. I'm like, he was frustrated. Like,
he sounded like he's about to make a record.
He sounded like if he could, he would have put his hand through the phone
and grabbed him by his, not by his throat, but by his face.
Grabbed him by his face and said, if you don't want to shoot me. Like,
yeah. So Kurt, you don't owe me no apology.
Yeah, you don't owe no apology.
And I'm not going to accept your apology.
That's between you, God, and your son.
And I'm not going to accept
that out. But yeah, it's definitely prayers for their family.
Oh, yeah. But this is the thing.
And everything that, that they are going through behind closed doors. Because I think, for one, it should have never been anything that was presented to us in the first place.
And this is the thing. All families are like this.
And all families go through stuff. All families have ups, have downs. It happens. So it's not, the situation might not be the same, but it's nothing outside of the realm of reality that we've all went.
Of understanding that we could be like, oh, I can see why Kirk got upset.
Exactly. And I think if people, sometimes being a Christian, people will automatically put things on you
of perfection,
and it's like, nah. Like in the Bible, it says striving for perfection. That don't mean I'm perfect. I'm trying to get there, but it's gonna be some hiccups. It's gonna be some splits.
Perfect, would I need Jesus?
Facts. Then I'd be straight.
I'd be good. It'd be no reason.
I wouldn't be having this issue with my son.
I wouldn't have no issues with my son. Exactly. Like
everything would be smooth.
But because I'm not, that's the reason that people go to serve Christ is because they're not.
It's like, yo, I'm trying to get my life right. Yep. You know what I mean?
And listen, as we all know, life takes time, right? And it takes time to learn to conquer things. We don't know what type of environment from what I hear, Kirk didn't grow up in the greatest environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there are things that he's still working through. He's still human. He's still on this earth. He's still breathing. As long as that is possible,
he's going to make mistakes. Yeah. And it's one of those things to where it's like, as we talk about this often, like allowing people to grow.
To just grow.
Because every day is a growing situation. Like every single day, it's like, oh man, I did this a little differently than I did yesterday. Oh man, I'm growing at that. You know, certain things. And I just feel that we have to allow people the room for that. And even he came out and was like, I'm not perfect.
Nope.
I'm pushing to get better every day.
Yeah.
And I think that's all we can do as individuals is just continue to push to get better.
Yeah.
And continue to push to get better and continue to push to get better.
Yeah.
And in that push, you're going to fall sometimes. You're going to make some mistakes sometimes.
Listen, when we first started this show.
Yo, hold up. Before you say that. So I'm going through and I'm deleting stuff from the Dropbox.
Yeah, I know.
So that Alex could put like photos and put stuff in the Dropbox. And the first episode we ever did is in the Dropbox. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, stop this, yo. Why did we
cut this off and don't ever do a podcast ever again in your life?
Never. Don't ever think about it. Don't ever do nothing.
Never.
Ever. I sat and I was looking, I was like,
this is hard.
I was like, we didn't know what we were doing.
We had no idea.
Like no idea. Like none. Lighting, sound.
It was
like
dark. I think I was like super dark and you were like
dark.
There was light on you. It was not good, man.
We had like these ceiling
lights.
Man,
it was terrible.
Yo, that joint is funny. So when you said that, it just made I was like, oh.
And it's only crazy because since we've been evolving, right, and learning how to get better, and like you'll call me like, oh, I think I can do this. I watched this, and this will probably make the show better. That doesn't happen, right? If we just cut it off and go, well, we're not perfect at it right now,
so let's just not.
So let's just stop.
Exactly.
Right? You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Like, we're in a world where growth is necessary. The room for growth is necessary more than ever now because everyone is exposed to everything. Yeah. And when we sit here and you know, we converse about different subjects and things like that and just try to bring good content, we wouldn't be able to do that without the growth. You know what I'm saying? Without
the mistakes.
That terrible first episode.
Yo, like
now.
When I say it looked like we did that joint in a dungeon compared to like what we have now. And we're still, even with what we have now, we're still like, yo, hey, we can
cameras
change
go out and all types of things.
Yeah, we done had mad hiccups. Like,
but you guys can help us remedy that. We put a lot of time, money, and effort into bringing this content to you. But when you go to patreon.com/Uhrise and you join the university, you can help me and Stitch make this show better.
Yes.
Right? If you love watching the content, you're like, man, you guys help me through a work day or through a tough situation. I just watch y'all, and man, we are happy to do that.
For sure.
And if you would like to show some support, again, go to patreon.com/Uhrise and join the university. We got some tier levels there. We got some things we want to share with you and give to you guys. You can also go to uhrisemusic.com because not only are we a podcast crew, we are also a musical group, right? And you can listen to the music that we provide.
The beautiful renditions of the Uhrise Collective.
On any streaming or platform device.
Facts. Yeah.
So listen, folks, give room for growth. All you racist people out there, you whack.
Yeah, y'all suck. Like y'all super
terrible.
Y'all are super trash.
It's horrible.
Just to let y'all, in case you didn't know, y'all are super trash.
I just wanted to, I felt like I should just say that before it's like, because this stuff is crazy at this point. And just, man, try to show love to people, man, because that's what it's all about. Yeah. And that's what we try to do here on the show, man. Just give a little joy, give a little love while informing.
And then also a big shout out to our photographer behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Want to give a shout out to Alex.
Appreciate it, Alex. Thank you so much.
We appreciate everything that you do. Another Black woman during Black Women's
and we can put her link in
Black Women's History Month. I gave y'all a whole History Month.
It's Women's
International
Women's. I forgot
what
is it? It's International.
It's International Women's Month, right?
History Month? International Women's History Month?
I think it's International Women's History Month.
Okay.
Yeah. And if it ain't, that's what it is.
That's what it's going to be today.
We're going to give all of y'all.
And we'll put her link for, I don't know where he have it at, where my hands are at.
It's right here.
You should make me hold it.
He just places it in his hand.
And we'll put her photography link there so you guys can get with her as well. We thank y'all guys for tuning in. We hope you guys have a really good rest of the week.
Yes.
Rest of the weekend, because we're shooting today on Sunday. And enjoy yourself, enjoy your family, and we'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.